mean, align with your heart and mind. And boundaries are a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes we think being aligned with heart and mind means always being sunny and happy. But actually, alignment is also like, okay, I've had it.
Hey, welcome back. Karen, before we get started, I just want to tell our subscribers, thank you for your support. Our tribe is growing. We're having so much fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing our videos. Thank you for subscribing. And today, what we're talking about is super special because it's all about riding the wave of good fortune, aligning the heart and the mind. What does that feel like to you?
Well, to me, what it feels like is I'm really excited about life, that I'm really on purpose, that I'm happy every step along the way, that I'm enjoying myself, that I feel lit up on the inside. I feel like I've got really good timing, like I'm rendezvousing with creative people. It feels really great. It feels like I'm really happy to be alive.
Yes, and the wind is at your back. Right? Things are just moving you forward and everything's easier. Now, here's the thing about living on the planet Earth right now and as humans, right? Nobody wants to hear about that. We tend to not even think it's real or that it's going to last. But I've actually had the experience of living in that space. It's amazing. There is such a thing.
Yeah. For a variety of reasons, negativity can easily capture us and get our attention, and then we're in this downward spiral. And if you feel yourself even occasionally having the thought, okay, I'm done, I want to go home, I don't want to be here anymore, which, okay,
raise your hand
if you've ever had that one, like, okay, take me home,
let this end,
I'm tired. That would be an indication that your mind and your heart are not working together and not in resonance, and they're not collaborating. You know, that somehow you're following your mind or you're following your heart, but you don't have the two working together. And I'll just say, I know what it feels like. I mean, I was just there recently, not that long ago, and I just remember how I felt. I was just like, I felt tired is how I felt. And well, like to the point of exhaustion, and just I need help is how I felt.
Here's the really valuable thing about this conversation. We've all been there. We've all felt tired. We've all felt unmotivated. And we all know that there's something else. And here's the short, easy answer to getting out of that really quickly. It's Einstein's theory, right, of insanity, okay? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Try something new. Try something new.
Yes, sometimes anything. I mean, do something different. Anything. Like if you find yourself, like if you resonate with that, yeah, I feel really stuck right now. I feel like I'm exhausted, like life is too hard. Okay, time to try something new. What you're doing isn't work. So what can you do? Play the failure card. Okay, I failed. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I'm just going to assume failure for a day and stop trying hard. Stop pushing yourself to try one more time to do something that already hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I just know myself, I have this never give up, which has served me well, but sometimes it doesn't serve me because it keeps me, banging my head against the wall and trying hard in situations that are just, basically they're not working.
Well, here's the other thing about that. There are some things we have to do that we may not feel compelled to do. I'm the world's worst about saying, I am not cleaning my house until I feel the urge to clean my house. I live alone, so I can get away with that. But at some point, I still have to clean my house. Even I want to. But there's a way to do that where you can sort of, you said play the failure card. I'm going to say rent yourself out. right? Just say, I'm gonna use my body to clean the house, but my mind and my spirit and my heart are singing. I'm gonna dance while I do it. I'm gonna watch a YouTube video while I do it. I'm also gonna be joyful and me and all of the things that I love while I do these things that I also have to do. So we're not talking about a world where anything that's unmotivating or unsatisfying, you just walk away and you don't do it. Granted, there are things that we've got to do, but there's a way to do it and honor your heart and align with your heart and your mind.
Well, say a little bit more about rent yourself out, because that's a beautiful phrase, and I'd love to hear what it means.
Yeah, here's my take on it, and you can add to this. But rent yourself out. Give yourself to something else. Give yourself to something that you're committed to. You know, I'm committed to my family. And there may be times that our family are hanging out together. Here's a great example. My beautiful daughter got married a little over a year ago, and the whole family got to stay in this beautiful house on the mountains in Colorado. And I got to spend the weekend with my ex-husband and his new wife, which was awkward. It was just awkward. You know, we've been divorced for quite a while. We love each other, we're great, we have a great relationship, but it's just awkward for me to be in that situation. But so I'm able to rent myself out to and be there and do what there is to do, because where my heart and mind are is that my daughter is going to smile all weekend. And there's nothing fake about that. I didn't have to fake my way through it. There's nothing, I didn't sell out on anything. I stayed true to what was important to me, but I kind of separated from, you know, that. I didn't engage. I didn't get caught up in it.
Yeah,
so to me, that's renting myself out.
Yeah, and it's really a sign of like extreme maturity to be able to be in that situation. So.
I wasn't mature about it the whole time, but I can look back and see maturity. Yeah.
Well, I had a rent yourself out situation recently too. From Texas, I drove to Florida to visit my parents who I hadn't seen in over a year. And I really had heart and mind coordination about it. I totally was like 100% in alignment that I wanted to go and I wanted to be of service. Like my purpose of going was to be helpful. One, to see them, but I wanted to help them because I knew that they needed help. My mom had a sprained ankle and they had a puppy that was needing walking and just running to the grocery store and doing stuff for them. So I had a great week because I really had that, like, I'm here at your service. I'm here, like, I'm ready. I'm not here for myself just to do everything I want to do, although there were plenty of things that I did that were for me. But I was really there, like, I was really renting myself out. Like, I'm here for you. And it got me through so many of the things that might have been bumps in the road were just kind of, you know, molehills as a result of that.
But let's talk about the other side of that. Okay, so we can rent ourselves out and we can say, my heart and my mind are aligned. I know that I'm committed to this. There are some things that are unpleasant that I'm going to do that I can get myself through, and I'm going to do this. Now, the other side is I have found myself doing things I didn't want to do, and I'm grumpy, but I have to, right? And what I've learned is, no, you don't. No, you don't. Walk away. Set a boundary. And really focus on being happy. And I know that that's not popular sometimes. Some people have suggested that that's selfish, right? But focus on being happy, and that doesn't mean that you're a doormat and you just find the silver lining in every cloud.
Yeah. No, but that's good. You're like, oh, okay, maybe this is a clue that you're not really 100% committed, or you don't really want to do this because you're not ready. I mean, boundaries were at any age. It's never too late to learn boundaries. At any age, it's never too late to reinforce your boundaries.
And align with your heart and mind. And boundaries are a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes we think being aligned with heart and mind means always being sunny and happy. But actually, alignment is like also like, okay, I've had it.
Yes.
That's boundary. Okay, I'm starting. I just had a vendor come to my house today, and I really, really wanted to buy what he was selling. But the guy's sales tactic, he was just talk. I wasn't prepared for a 60-minute sales presentation. I mean, I just wasn't in the headspace for it. I didn't know that was part of the agenda.
You weren't communicating.
I wasn't communicating because I was starting to get like, okay, can you cut to the chase? Okay, what's the bottom line? Oh, but it was so funny because it was like, I just found myself, I was surprised what came out of my mouth. I was like, okay, you've got 5 minutes to sell me and to show me the prices, and then I'm going inside. And I did.
It was true to you. It wasn't.
wasn't.
You weren't trying to assert yourself or be powerful or prove anything.
No.
You were just truly. It wasn't right for you.
It wasn't right, and it was. But it was like, okay, so that would be an example of, like, actually be surprised. You know, like when your heart and your mind are in alignment. You might be surprised what.
Honor them.
Honor that. Yeah, you're both have just said, we've had it.
Yes.
You know, and it's like.
And this is one of my favorite quotes. Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton, and she says that she doesn't very often lose her temper, but she quite often uses it. I love that. You can use your temper to honor those things that your heart and mind are aligned on. So you can set your boundaries. And on the other hand, my heart and my mind are aligned on my daughter having a great wedding. And so this petty thing and awkwardness about being in the house with my ex, all that stuff, I can rip myself out and honor what's true to my heart and my mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about careers, because I think that's a big place where people are looking for heart and mind coordination. Because what we really want is we want a job that lights us up and is true to our hearts and is in alignment with our hearts.
Well, here's what we are conditioned to believe, that a career is defined by a title or a role. And so this is an old school sort of thought. I grew up this way, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it was defined, and it was something that already existed. And I will say that my heart and my mind, where it has led me, I love my work. You know this, and I enjoy work, and I don't mind working a lot because I found myself at that place that is a true expression. But the shift that had to happen for me to get there was for me to stop saying I want to be a consultant. Stop saying I want to be a vice president. Stop saying I want this title, I want this role, and start saying I want to do work that people are inspired by. I want to work for an inspiring leader. I want clients who recognize my brilliance. That's how I started defining my heart and mind. That's what we want.
I mean,
That's what
things
we
are
want.
really changing, and we're in interesting times, which means we get to be in that liminal, transitional space of, you know, like that job titles aren't, people are even realizing, what is it, vice president of a branch bank or whatever it is, or, you know, like I have a CPA or whatever it is. That's like, it used to be, that was the, you know, the gold standard was to be, you know, a doctor, you know, and you've got the doctor by your name, and then that gives you like a kind of a box of approval. But now it's like we're moving away from that, and people are, you know, being independent and being, you know, entrepreneurial, and so we're letting go of that whole structure, but it's not always easy.
Yeah. I can honestly say that neither my mom nor my ex-husband can explain to anyone what I do.
Yeah, it's like, what does Paula do?
But my clients pay for it, so I provide value.
I provide value.
That. Yes.
That's beautiful.
But we've told a story before about my friend who was a flight attendant, who we all think that's a great career. But when flights get grounded, and the whole travel industry, you know, suffers with COVID and different things happen, and you lose this quote-unquote dream job, you start to wonder if really things are going to work out okay. I thought I did everything right. I thought I landed where I was supposed to be. How is this going to work out? And it has, and it will if you let it.